Hello and welcome to the second of my 2020 Club 100 karting videos. It's been a long time since the last one and an awful lot of things have changed. So I started the season back in February at Bugmore Park and expected to be karting again in March. It's now the end of June, beginning of July, and yesterday I got to go and test a kart for the first time since February. If you're watching this after 2020, the long absence may not make a lot of sense, but due to the global COVID pandemic, the country's been in lockdown. We've been unable to do any kind of racing, and literally things have just started to open up. Most forms of motorsport are starting again, including karting. So we'll actually go racing at the beginning of July with a condensed season, which is going to run, I think, through 11 rounds all the way through to December. So it was pretty important to get out and get some more practice under my belt. It's important to say a massive thanks to everyone at Club 100 for the effort they've put in to organise the two tests that we've had before the start and resumption of the season, and also the effort they put in so we can go racing later on this year. It can't have been easy, I'm sure, but from my experience of testing yesterday, everything was incredibly well organised. There's obviously a lot of thought gone into how we can manage to go racing in a responsible way, keep ourselves socially distant from each other, but still go and do this. So yeah, I just cannot, my admiration for what these guys have done is huge, and I really appreciate the fact that we can go racing because of all the work that JV and the crew have put in. Without those guys we wouldn't be doing this, and can't say thank you enough for all the effort during what has been an unbelievably strange time. Thank you. So as a bit of background, as I said, the first round of the Club 100 Championship happened in February. I then went off on holiday, fairly normal thing. Came back from holiday at the beginning of March and literally went straight into lockdown, and haven't been to work since, and it's just been a very strange time, as I'm sure it has been for most people. So I have kept myself busy whilst this has been going on. Again, like a lot of people, I've done an awful lot of sim racing. I've been involved in a number of online leagues, which is something I'd never really done before. Raced a variety of cars. I've raced the old favourite MX-5, including a couple of fun races with some other Club 100 karters. I've also raced in the next gen touring car championship using the Audi RS3, and also I'm involved in the UK Motorsport Formula 3 Championship, which has been an awful lot of fun. But I've really just wanted to get back on track and race a kart. It's been far too long. So rather than drag this out and make an extremely long video, it was a half-hour test session at Rye House. Never driven there before. Conditions, as you can see, very wet. Literally the rain started coming down 15 minutes before we were due to start the session and didn't stop the entire time. New track to me, still not really comfortable driving in the wet. I wasn't too unhappy given the combination of the conditions and the fact that I'd never driven the track before. I made a few mistakes, again not entirely surprising given the conditions, but the main thing, it was just good to get behind the wheel of a car again, know that I hadn't completely forgotten how to drive, and just basically enjoy myself, getting ready for the resumption of the season in a couple of weeks' time. So this is a sequence of laps, including my fastest of the day, plus a spin thrown in for good measure. I did do quite a lot of spinning, as you'll see at the end. A lot of them because of my affinity to white lines, which I don't seem to have managed to deal with in the wet. I know you're supposed to use the entire track, but also you've got to remember that in the wet, on slick tyres, white lines are not your friends. So I'm just going to let this play out, and you can see just how tricky it was. I happily didn't finish bottom of the timesheets and wasn't actually that far away from a group of people in the kind of 106, 107 bracket. Obviously in open testing it's very difficult to know whether those people are in your weight class or not. So some of them, for example, are clearly lightweights, so have a bit of an advantage in that regard. And a lot of them are also very, very experienced in comparison to me. This is only my third time in a Club 100 kart, so I can forgive myself for not setting the timing sheets on fire. But overall, I wasn't unhappy. I know I can go quicker. It would have been nice to have driven in the dry, but it's all good experience. And you know, I'm just looking forward to getting out there and get racing again, as I'm sure everyone is. Just remember, kids, white lines. Don't do it.